All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. For those I haven't met before, I'm Jock Lawrence, the founder and CEO of Mobble. A quick one for me. Just the agenda today is going to be I'll do a quick intro. We're going to have Farmo speaking, Nick Seymour here, doing a presentation, having a bit of a chat about Farmo and their products. I'll do a bit of a demo around Mobble and some of our latest updates as well. And then we're just going to open up for Q&A, and everyone can have a big chat about what they want to get out of it and sort of go from there. So yeah, so a bit of background about me. I come from a multi-generational sheep and cattle farm in north central Victoria, Australia. And I founded Mobble in 2018 because I couldn't find a simple, flexible way to manage livestock and farming records. Mobble's now used by over 3,500 farmers across Australia, New Zealand, and increasingly more and more ranchers in North America as well as we launch into that part of the world. Um, Now, Mobble's whole reason for being is to make farmers' lives easier and more successful, and I'm sure Nick's is as well from Farmo. But we focus on building simple, practical, and farmer-focused software driven by farmer feedback. Um, yeah, so today's session is all about how to use purpose-built AgTech tools like Mobble and Farmo to improve productivity and decision making on your farm. So these tools can really make all the difference to knowing what you need to know, when you need to know it, and with far-reaching benefits beyond that as well, and connecting that data with people that need it as well. We'll aim to keep this around 45 minutes today, hopefully a bit shorter to get everyone back to on farm, and go from there and have Q&A at the end, so people can stick around for the Q&A for sure. And to kick things off, I'm really excited to introduce our guest speaker, the Nick Seymour, from the founder of Farmo. I've known Nick for a long while now. We've been on the sort of the field day circuit for years together. And he's joining the session from the road today. He's in Catherine, NT at the moment, going to the NT Farmers AgTech Day. Nick, I'm pretty sure you founded Farmo back in 2019 as a direct result of something that happened to you on farm. I'm sure you'll talk about it. And Farmo, as far as it provides water monitoring, pump automation, and fencing gate sensors. What we love about them is they're simple, it's pretty nice, intelligent tools that just get the job done. I'm a personal fan of the Water Rat tool as well. And before you demo and start talking about Farmo and your products, Nick, tell us about why you founded Farmo.
Yeah, hi, Jock, and everyone else. Thanks for listening today. In 2019, I was managing a farm remotely, and I had some cattle some weaners pushed through into a laneway, and there was no water, and about a dozen of them died, and it was just a really traumatic experience, for myself. And in response to that experience, I invented a thing that we call the Water Rat, which is a water monitoring tool that you can throw in a trough, and it can alert the farmer instantly when there's no water in that trough. And I did that because I just didn't want that to happen to any more cattle, and I didn't want other farmers to kind of experience that. And so yeah, that was just an exercise in building a bit of hardware. And then since then, people want other stuff. They want tank monitoring, soil moisture, and it sort of makes sense to deliver all of the things that people want to monitor on a farm. And we've also spent a lot of time in making it easy to to digest and act on that information via an app. But one of the reasons talking today is people like to absorb their information in heaps of different ways. Some people like to see it on a phone, on an app. Some people like to have it pop up in the program that they're using every day, like Mobble. They just want to see it all in the one place. Other people like to get it, as a PDF report, at 10 a.m. and having their morning smoko. So, yeah, and as Jock says, we've both been, hauling ourselves around, these trade shows for 4 or 5 years, and it's been great to see the growth of Mobble becoming like so professional and so well loved by all those customers. And so, yeah, we're super excited to, I don't know if it's been announced yet, but we're sort of working on a collaboration between the two of the businesses going forward. So can I say that, Jock?
Absolutely, we have now. No,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely, Nick. No. It's a whole reason. So one of the reasons why we're here is that yeah, we've got an upcoming integration happening with Farmo, and And in the future, you'll be able to see a lot of that water sensor or sensor information in the mobile app as well. So yeah, no, that's of course, but yeah, we can sort of talk through that as we go. But Nick, I'm going to throw to you if you can talk us through Farmo products,
Yep.
if you like, and how they benefit our farmers, and then we'll go from there. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to, first of all, okay, here we go. I'm just going to see. This is going to be rough, but I think you're seeing the right screen. Is that right?
Yep.
Can you guys see? Yep. Okay. Now, so first of all, what I actually want to do is I want to just play a very short video of the water it is, because a lot of you will have no idea. See it.
There's no sound on that one. Nick, do you want to talk over the top about what it's happening there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize. So the idea of a water is you just pick it up, throw it in the trough. It's that easy. And when you move your livestock, you just pick it up, take it to the next location, and throw it in again. And the key to the design of this software is the floating part of it. And what that means is you're not having to monitor all your troughs. You just move it around based on moving your livestock. Now, when I first designed this, it was all about preventing, cattle dying. It was all about there's an issue, responding quickly to a water issue on your farm. It was about peace of mind. So you could go away from the weekend and be present with your family, not one. But what's been interesting as we've sort of gone down this journey and people have used it and given us feedback about how they're using it, is now that you've got the ability to get a 24/7 record of how a trough has been empty or full over the last 7 days or 30 days or whatever, people are finding that even if there is no water problem, there's no leak in a pipe, there's no nothing causing a problem, there's just far more instances of troughs just not keeping up a water supply to the sheep or to the cattle, okay, that are present. And you don't know that if you go out at 9 o'clock, do the waters, everything's all fine. You never know that there's half an hour at 2 o'clock and then 45 minutes at 3:30 where the trough's not keeping up. So I thought I'd talk about that part of it, because if I'm right, the mobile audience is very, very sort of, well informed of everything going on, and data and all that sort of thing. And I thought, you might be interested in some of the feedback that we've got around this issue and how big it is, because it's day to day in terms of the live weight price and all that. So these are just completely sort of indicative figures, different from month to month, from area to area. But let's just say something like you've got 500 head, of sheep, and you're expecting an average daily weight gain of 0.3 kilograms per day, right? Now that is if you've got good free flowing water, and if the water is constrained and the animals are hanging around the trough, they're waiting for a drink. What you're finding is you're only getting a weight gain of something like 0.28 kilograms a day, which doesn't sound like much, okay? But across that whole mob, you got 500 head, you've got 100, you're expecting 150 kilograms, total every day. You're only getting 140, right? That's based on a live weight price of 900 cents a kilogram. You're actually missing out on $90 a day. You're losing $90 a day, right? And that's what people are saying to us now. Okay, I'm invested in a water rat. It's costing me $8 a month. That's $27 a day. I'm finding out these issues, and it's actually, the benefit of that is a lot more than I think, we realized, 3 or 4 years ago. It's a very similar thing with cattle. you've got 200 cattle, you've just got different numbers. They're putting on, 900 grams a day per, rather than, 1 kilogram across the whole herd. You're losing 20 kilograms a day, 400 cents a kilogram live weight. Again, $80 a day you're losing. Whereas you have the ability to know, through a water ad or something, what's going on with your troughs, and you can avoid that kind of issue. It's only going to cost you 27 cents a day to find out that sort of data. And so what we're finding is, I'm going to sort of stop sharing if I can, is due to reasons, right, back to my head, right, due to reasons that that's sort of, we've been discussing this with University of Queensland, and what we think is most of the engineering advice on when you're building the water resources on your farm, it's based on data from the 1960s, the 1970s, 1980s on how much cattle or sheep drink per day. Now, cattle are a heck of a lot, they're putting on a lot more weight now than they did in the 1990s, right? They're growing bigger and they're growing faster. They're eating more feed. So that means they're drinking more water, right? But if you go today to the department and say, give me advice, 2-inch pipe, how much water am I going to need? It's all out of date. It's all like 20, 30, 40 years out of date, right? And so we're just in that period where we know so much about we've improved our cattle genetics and our pastures so much, but a lot of our water infrastructure hasn't kept up. So yeah, it's this whole adventure into ag tech, right? You just don't know where it's going to take you. You think it's going to take you there to give you peace of mind, stop animals dying, and all of a sudden you find parts of your property that have real potential for productivity improvements.
Yep.
I don't want to talk too much about, all the other farmo gear. It's everybody knows the benefits of tank monitoring. Of course, you should always be monitoring your tanks. But I guess what I'm trying to say about trough monitoring is, if your tank is full, it might just be full because it's got a poor flow through the troughs. And you might have a full tank and you still got animals standing around waiting for a drink. That's a really important point.
Yep. Oh, quick question. With the farmo product, how's that connected back to your app? Like, how does it go from the paddock back back to the cloud, back to the information on the app?
Yeah, so there's a IoT a little cellular modem inside it. So every minute, the little water rat, it asks itself, am I tilted over or not? Right. And if it tilts over within that minute, after a minute, it pushes information through the cellular network, right, up to the cloud and then back to your app. So the water rat, it's got a SIM card inside it. You need half a bar of coverage for it to work. Okay.
Yep.
You're opening another can of worms there around
No.
connectivity. And this is for everyone's interest. This is kind of the reason I'm up in the Northern Territory is, up until 2025, we've always had we've always had patchy connectivity on farms. Very few farms have good cellular connectivity across the whole farm. So you've had to choose devices that were either cellular, right, or they were satellite devices, or you're going down a pathway of radio signals via LoRa or some other sort of home,
Yep.
radio signal network. But as of the end of this year, and this is the next release of our hardware, it has one chip and it goes to the cell tower if there's a signal. And if the signal's not there, it pushes that data up to a satellite. They're calling this non-terrestrial networks. It's already been released with Starlink and Apple phones for text messaging, but it's coming to all of the sort of the sensing hardware as well in 2026. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a game changer for AgTech, I think. Like, all the places that, remote and have no service, especially in the gullies of different people's farms. So, no, it's exciting stuff, mate. I'm glad you guys are ahead of the curve there. Well, what we'll do, maybe we'll save questions
Yeah.
at the end about Farmo. I'll quickly change over and do a bit of quick demo on Mobble and what we're about, and then we can open for
Yeah.
Q&A. I see that someone asked if Mobble and Farmo talk to each other. The answer there is not yet. It's something that we're working on right now. Nick and both of our teams are working together at the moment and trying to get that information from Farmo onto the Mobble app, so you can see that all within Mobble, that central place. So I'll quickly share my screen. So I'm gonna quick demo. So I'm going to take you around my parents' farm in north central Victoria. It's called Brantwood. We run sheep and cattle out here. Um, and yeah, I'm going to take you through the app. So basically, Mobble, it's a livestock farm management software, but it's two apps. It's got one app on your phone. This is the one that you're using out in the paddock every day, updating mob movements and treatments and paddock records. And then you've got the web application as well on your computer. So I'm going to take you through the web app here today. Um, and it's basically the same though. Like the web app and the mobile app are very similar, but the mobile app also works offline in the paddock as well. So yeah, sort of getting around that connectivity issue. Um, so a few things I'll cover quickly. I'll cover out the farm map and the property overview of Mobile. I'll cover livestock management, mob moves, and treatments and reconciliation. I'll cover compliance and record keeping. I'll quickly touch on stocking rates and grazing management as well, and what you can do with that in Mobile. Inventory management and quick few tips on customization. So it'll be pretty quick, but we'll see how we go. So yeah, on Mobile, you can map out nearly anything on your farm. So obviously all your paddocks. You can also map out things like pipelines. You can map out in your gates, your silos, and all this sort of information. It's a full kind of like GIS system. You can do. So I've got measuring tools there for measuring distances, like how much pipeline you need for that between a trough and a tank, for example. Information like that. Obviously, you're putting your mobs onto the map as well. Um, and I'll quickly transition into sort of livestock management. So, Mobile, there's a few different ways to view your property. We have dashboards on different data of your property. And you can view property via your paddock list, your mob list, or your map. So I'll take you through the map mainly today, just because it's visual, it's easy to see what's going on. The other two pages there are more doing bulk actions and stuff like that. So with mob management, it's very easy. So one thing we're doing all the time on the farm is moving mobs around. We're picking mobs up, we're dropping them into paddocks. Also, we're doing things like recording treatments on mobs. So this little red dot here means these sheep are currently in withhold period. So they've been likely drenched. So I can go into this view mob, view the details. We can see they come out of withhold later this month, and I can see here they were drenched with a vet tool. So we're recording all this information on the livestock on the go. So this is my brother Max. He's been out there drenching the sheep, and yeah, recording those sort of records. You can record nearly anything on a mob. You can record feed actions, and we're tracking the usage of all these inventory pieces over time as well. And yeah, you get a full history of each mob and each paddock forever. So I can go to view this mob and I can see what's happened to it forever over time. That's the same with a paddock. So if I select a paddock, you can see some information. We've got some grazing management information here, like days grazed and days rested. The average stocking rate over time as well as in here. If I view the detail on this paddock, we'll get a bunch more information, the complete history forever. Some grazing management information here, the mobs in that paddock, and historic livestock numbers over time. So I can go through here and see LSU is a livestock unit. Sheep farmers might use DSE, but this is a stocking unit. I can see average stocking units over time and how that's trending as well. It's like a trend line, a 12-month rolling average. Really good to see like things like paddock performance and stuff through that. And we're also recording paddock treatments and stuff on here too. So I can see in the history here, my brother has done a fertilize action on a heap of different paddocks at the same time. He's done a fertilize action there with superphosphate. And yeah, everything we're recording on these paddocks and the mobs, there we've got summaries and all these. So when it comes to compliance, we can quickly get up a summary on all our mob actions, our treatments, or our paddock actions, and present that to the LPA or to any accreditation program that you're going through. Things like casualties and stuff as well. These are all things that they're looking for: mob movements, tracking mob movements. And once you show them a product like Mobble, and they see that you're recording things properly, and that those records are easy to access, they tick off the compliance steps pretty quickly. You don't even need to print anything off. You just literally show them the app and take them through the different reports. And yeah, they're really happy with that. So that's good feedback from auditors. Um, I'll quickly touch on a few other things. So tasks is so one of the beautiful things about Mobble is it's that central place for all your farm and data communication, right? So you got all on this farm, for example, we have my dad, we have my brother Max, my other brother Todd, and a worker called Jared, and my mum Deb. So they're all got access to this view of the property. They can all see what's going on. They can see where the livestock are, and they can actually organize their work through Mobble as well. So we've got a task management feature here, where you can map out tasks. So if you've seen like a tree over a fence or something like that, you can map in a task really simply straight into the map. You can do it out in the paddock. You got your GPS location. You can just put it on your head, map out where that task location is, and you can create different task lists and assign to different people. They all get notified with notifications, and they don't have to be geolocational. They can be just on the list as well. So there's all that task management in there as well. There's a property chat, so you can use like a WhatsApp group within the farm. And also, Mobble isn't just the team on the farm. We also have different access levels for people outside of farm too. So if you've got a farm advisor or an agronomist, you can invite them in. They have a specific view of Mobble, and they can sort of see what's going on the farm and help you make those decisions around what treatments to do your paddocks or improve pastures or whatever it is. So we have a few different access levels for third parties. Farm advisor is one of them, like agronomist or a livestock advisor, stock agent, accountant, contractor. The most used are probably farm advisor, accountant, contractor. So the accountant view, they get a view of a livestock reconciliation report, all your livestock numbers, sales and stuff like that, purchases. And your contractor view as well, which is more to do with just having access to the map, knowing where their tasks are they need to do. So it could be like a spreading contractor or a fencing contractor. They get access to the app. They can see what's going on. They might be able to see where a Farmo crop is located in the future or something like that too. So yeah, so you got those different accesses there. I will go back to things we're reporting on as well. So Mobble, we're doing full records on your livestock reconciliation. So we're doing your natural increases, we're doing your purchases, sales, and casualties. So, and what we do with those records, we've got summaries on them all, but we also bring them back into a report or a historic livestock report here and your livestock reconciliation. So end of financial year, but it's accessed whenever. You can just choose the dates and go for it. If you've got multiple properties, you can select multiple properties, concatenate those reports together. And yeah, this gives you a full breakdown of everything, every livestock and livestock type that's been on the farm. Yeah. Another quick note. So one of the beauties of Mobble compared to other systems, it's really flexible and customizable. So for example, if I select these merino ewes here, you can see we use these thing called classes. This is like a naming convention, but this is fully customizable. You can sort of name them anything you want or class them anything you want. And the beauty of the classes is that we're tracking that. We're doing a snapshot of the farm every single day, so we can see how many merino ewe firsts we had last year versus this year. You can class them in weight groups. You can class them in sort of progeny groups. You can just use your imagination. You can go any way you want. And that's one of the flexibilities of Mobble. There's lots of other flexibilities in there, but the information we collect is quite customizable to your operation. So it is quite flexible like that. Also say like compared to other systems, it's quite fluid, like mob management wise, like merging mobs together, splitting them as well, and stuff like that is works really simply, really well. there. There's heaps of other things we're doing there, like rainfall and stuff, but I won't go into too much detail. There's a couple of, we'll touch on a couple of things. We had a new release for people that are moblers on the call. Had a new release go out today, which is about um, bulk process information on paddocks. So we have this way you can bulk select paddocks now on your paddock list. This is released on web. It's gonna be released on native probably tomorrow on your phone. But you can select multiple paddocks here like this, and you can apply a bulk action. So that could be like a fertilizer action. This is just going to save you time, right? So you can do a bulk action on all these paddocks at once. Select the action type, add your products to it, and apply that action. So you can do that to all six or all those paddocks at the same time. It also, with this new little feature that was released today, you can bulk edit. So if you're a crop farmer and you want to change the paddock type or the crop type, you can quickly select the paddocks that maybe you planted with barley or something like that, and you can change that type to barley. You add in your custom types. We don't do that for our operation, but you can, and they all show up as different colors and really easy to filter for cropping paddocks versus livestock paddocks and get different reports on those. So nice and quick to update that now, so it's a lot less tedious, and hopefully people can use that more, so they can have like a more of a live understanding of how their property is being used. You can also bulk open gates as well. So if you've got a group of paddocks in an area, um, you can open those gates there as well. So yeah, the open gates feature is so you can visualize on a farm. Sorry for the naming of these paddocks. Visualize on a farm which paddocks are open with each other. And then we sort of average out the stocking rates between those paddocks, if that makes sense. Um, Now, I know it's lambing and calving season at the moment, so quick little tips here around adding in your natural increases. So if you have, let's just go, say, Twin Hills paddock here, and they've had some lambs, I can go into this paddock, and everything we add is by this big plus button. And we're adding a mob, and we're adding a natural increase. You can backdate this record in the paddock itself, which helps with grazing records. Well, it's got goats there, but yeah, we can add in your natural increase there, and then once we press next, let's go mix sex, this age group of this year. All the tag colors are there, and so we got 200. And then we're creating a natural increase record. So we can choose a date, it could be past, future, whatever, and adding any notes. So that we often put percentages in here. So maybe 120% would be a nice result. So that's how you add a natural increase, and that just adds in as a extra mob to that paddock. So you'll have your ewes, we have your cows, and you'll have your calves and your lambs in that paddock running alongside each other, right? So that's how you do that. Now, some people like every calf that comes down, they like to add it in individually. You can do that. It's just the same process. With you creating multiple records and then merging those mobs together or those records together, basically. And you'll end up with more records, but you get more granular records that day. So maybe you added one calf today and it's from cow number XYZ, and you can note down the actual cow that calf came from. So you can do it in bulk, like say at land marking time, or you can do it more individually. It's just the choice. Oh, another thing as well, I was just talking about compliance records and inventory management stuff. We have full-blown inventories here. So animal health, all your paddock chemicals and herbicides, and you also have feed grain and storage, so you can track the use of so I know it was pretty dry last season where we are, so we tracked a lot of usage of things like barley we're feeding out to sheep. And if I go into a product, so this is a 5-in-1, it's an animal treatment product, you can actually see over the last 12 months how much of that product we've used. This is where we store all the batch IDs and stuff like that too for compliance. But I'll just quickly note that while I was thinking about it. Last note is about Mobble in a more of a holistic sense. We're thinking a lot about integrations right now. Obviously, Nick's here talking about integrations too, and we're working together. And we already have a couple of live integrations. One's with AgWorld, for example, which is a crop management system. And there's a couple others we're thinking about as well. But over the next sort of 6 months, I think what we'll see is a lot more collaboration, 6 months to a year, or however long it takes. A lot more collaboration between different AgTech providers and Mobble, and the whole ecosystem's kind of evolving that way. So really exciting to have companies like Farmo on. So I'll leave it at that. Go on forever, but I'll leave it at that, and I'll just open up to some Q&A. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And we can also come off mute if you like to, if you got the confidence to do that. Otherwise, I'll throw it to Maddie let us know if there's any questions.
Yeah, so there's been some questions happening in the chat. Nick's answered one from Murray. What is the water rat's battery life and cost of battery replacement? Nick, others might be interested in that too. So if you wanted to answer that one.
Yep, water rat battery lasts, we say 1 to 2 years, but it should last two plus years. And when you need to replace that battery, it's $30. You buy it from the Farmo website. There's no shipping cost. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Nice. A question from Natalie. She asks, can you have batches with lick and supplement blocks? That one's for you, Jock. And then Nat also has a question that she's asked previously for Nick. So if you want to unmute yourself, Natalie, otherwise I'll ask the secondary one for you. But yeah, maybe Jock just on the batches with the supplement, with the lick and supplement blocks question.
Yeah, for sure. At the moment, we can put it in your storage section, your feed grain storage section, and you can note down the batch. There's a note section for that, so you can note down the batch there. But if you wanted to do it, if you wanted an actual batch ID section, it might be good to add the supplements into the animal health area, because that's got more fields for those compliance fields. Yeah, does that make sense, Natalie?
Yeah, thanks, Jock. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because when I get multiple batches of like our sulfur supplement or uramols or whatnot that use here, and then you're going to go and put them against the paddock that you're putting them in. You just click it and you don't know which one. You're like, is that one or that one? And at the moment, I'm going by the data was entered, but I'd never thought about using the section for vet treatments. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Natalie also asked for Nick. She's interested in tech being used to monitor electric fences. So if you can speak to that, and also, I mean, she asked about the connections that are required, which you sort of touched on before.
Yeah. Well, connectivity at the moment, pretty much all the Farmo products are cellular, so you need half a bar of connectivity. Where you're going to install it. We have a electric fence sensor. They're $400. You throw them on a fence. It reports the voltage of that fence to your phone every 4 hours. But in addition to that, it's got some smarts on the device where every 15 minutes it's checking the voltage. And if it goes above or below a threshold, you'll get the data within 15 minutes. So, yeah, as you know, with electric fences, if you let the faults get away from you, they are a nightmare. So just getting that real-time information on there's a fault, keep on top of it, go and fix them. They're great. They're great units, really useful.
Yeah, righto. Fair enough. Can I link that to an energizer? Because we've got that much electric fencing and we're putting in exclusion fencings, 10-wire electric fence, and I don't want to monitor every single one there's 5 live and 5 earth. But can you just run it off the energizer? Because these Gallagher 2800Is can have 9 zones in them.
Yeah, so if you sort of, when you map out your electric fence structure, it's like a tree, isn't it? With all those branches going off, and you just come back to where all those branches before they branch off. And if you put it there, a short on any one of those branches will reduce the voltage. So, back closer to the energizer. And what people are doing is they'll put a remote sensor, before that branch. They go, okay, in that block, there's a fault in that system. And then they go to the system, and then on the ground, they'll use a handheld directional fault finder. So it's really you wouldn't want to be monitoring every single one of those branches. It's overkill. You just, the main purpose of the remote monitoring one is, there's a fault somewhere in the fence, and then you go there on the ground. Use the normal method.
Okay, because currently I've got a satellite one running off this energizer. It's a Gallagher one, and it needs a bit more voltage than
Yeah.
what I first
Yeah.
thought. But it monitors the energizer, and then if I go
Yeah.
and
Okay.
put 9 units on that, because it has 9 zones, like so I can go and put 9 units running off that one energizer, because we have multiple energizers. It tells me what those
Yeah.
9 zones are doing. So yours is just for single wire; it's not for the actual energizer itself.
It's not for no, it's definitely not for single wire, because even if you've got, say, a 9-wire exclusion.
It's for that zone, then. Yeah. Oh, my Starlink's dropped out.
No, well, not you, Natalie. I think it's Nick.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You're all
So
good.
I have been having issues with my Starlink, but anyway, yes.
No, Nick's just dropped out for a second there.
Okay, no worries, thanks.
Oh, Natalie, you're just on mute there. Yep.
We can jump back into the answer when Nick's internet rejoins. Jock, a question for you from Anna. And Anna, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a further question if you need. Anna asks, can you add tasks to individual mobs instead of paddocks?
No, at the moment, tasks are either by location, like geolocation, or on a paddock. Or they're on a list. You can just like list it, like you can have it non-associated to anything. And lists are kind of good because you can still note down which mobs it associated to in the notes section. But that's sort of coming. So we're focusing. A couple of things we're focusing on at the moment is integrations and file uploads. So just a little tidbit. We're doing a lot of work in file uploads, right? So we're thinking about uploading invoice sales or uploading batch ID photos to inventory items, like things like that. That's what we're focusing on right now. And probably one of the next things we'll do after that is like an improvement on tasks. And that's when we'll look to add in the functionality of doing tasks on mobs. There's a little bit of complexity there because mobs move and then they can merge and split in different things. We've got to think about how to do that. But at the moment, there's no way to assign a task to a mob per se. But I reckon, I do think that's something it's definitely something we're planning to do. So I don't know when, but yeah, if that answers your question.
And another one from BLC Farms. When doing a mob action, could there possibly add multiple action types such as vaccination and drench?
Yeah, you can for sure. So like something that we do on farm, we cover like a mob action for we just call it landmarking, I think. And we add in all the products that we use for that event. So I think there's like, there's a 5-in-1, there's a Yoni's, there's a drench as well. And we do all of them at once. So you can do it that way. Auditors seem pretty happy with that. And it tracks that pretty well. But yeah, if you wanted to like have the bulk mob action way to add different types, I guess. There's no way to do that, but that's a good way around it at the moment. Hopefully that answers your question.
Nick, it looks like you're online, but maybe your video's turned off. If you're there, you and Nat can keep talking about the electric fence.
That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Oh, here you go. You're on.
Sorry, just following on from that question, when it gives you the option of adding an action, you can only tick one item at a time. So just wondering, will that be something you can update so we could tick, because we've drenched them, we've, landmarked them or something all on the same date, so we'll run them through the foot rock bar rather than having to go in and out. Can you, at the moment, it lets you select one item rather than multiple in one hit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's just good feedback for us, really, because like you can create a custom type. You can have a custom type saying it's a landmarking type, and then you can add all your different products that you do during landmarking for say like that. But I suppose like like down the like it's something we could think about, like how do we add multiple actions at once? So you want to do drench, vaccinations, weaning, and do all those at the same time. But there's no way to do that at the moment. You can do mobs in bulk though. So I'll quickly share my screen. So just so you know this. So I can go to the mob list and I can select all my, say, first cross use here. And I can do a bulk action and I can do that to 4 at once. That saves a fair bit of time. But yeah, like the action type here, it's only one at a time, right? So I can select drench here, or I can create an action type